Hi guys, today it's me Ty here, and today I'm going to talk about what years of Honda Fit that you should buy in the United States. And me, I've owned a 2008 model with automatic transmission for 3.5 years, and before I ever bought that car, like I did a lot of research on it. I researched all the competitors, like the Toyota Yaris and everything, and I finally made my decision with a Honda Fit, and I am glad I did. So the different body styles and the different generations, this is how it goes with them. Uh, 2007 was the first year of the Honda Fit in the United States, and then 2020 was the last year of the Honda Fit in the United States, and they discontinued it. So for the first generation, you had your 2007 through 2008 model. All the parts are identical between the two, so you can swap them back and forth. And also with all the Honda Fits, the 2007 to 2020, they all utilize the 1.5 liter four-cylinder engine. And I was going to say something else about it. None of them have turbos, so you don't have to worry about a turbo going out on it. And they thought there was something else that um, they had that was really great about it. Oh yes, okay. Prior to what Honda's always done, like Honda always used to have timing belts on their engines. They were interference engines. So if you didn't change that out every 90 or 100,000 miles, that timing belt would break and you'd blow up your engine and you were screwed. And that's why so many people went to Toyotas instead. Well, for the Honda Fits, they use a regular timing chain, just like all your GM cars and all that over the years, where the cars are just the engines wouldn't blow up. So that is just a reason of like me, you know, like I don't mind doing maintenance, but somebody that doesn't want to pay for maintenance and everything, the Honda Fit is definitely the best car that Honda's ever made. So with that 2007 to 2008 generation or body style, um, you could get a stick shift in them or an automatic, a traditional automatic, which lasts forever. Um, but the bad thing that I don't like about this generation, like what I have, is that it does not have a traction control off button. So I was constantly stuck in the mud and snow and everything. So what I did to solve that is I put snow tires on every winter, which is a hassle and an extra cost, having an extra set of rims and yeah, and then you have to take them off in the spring. So but that's pretty much the only bad thing about it. So yeah, that's the only downfall of this car. If you guys can buy a 2007, 2008, just realize you're gonna have the added expense of putting snow tires on the front. Like me, I don't run mine on the rear end. I just put them on the front, and it works just fine. Then the next body style of Honda Fit is the 2009 to 2010, which I honestly think that they look cooler than the 2007 to 2008s. But other than that, they're exactly the same as the 2007 2008s. They still have the 1.5 liter, and they still have a traditional automatic or a stick shift in them. And then we get to the best years of the Honda Fit, the 2011 to 2014 generation. And they, like I said, they still have the 1.5 liter, and they have the traditional automatic, which is a plus. And then it was the first year that they came with the traction control off button on the dash. And where that's located off here to is it's just off to the left side of your steering wheel on the dashboard, right above where um, your hood latch is. So they're just great. And then after that, then they had the next body style, the next generation, which ran from 2015 to 2020. And that was they got rid of the traditional automatic transmissions at that time, and they put in CVT transmissions, or you could also get a stick shift. And they also have a traction control off button on them. Um, and then these also, they got rid of your ignition key. These have that start stop button on the dashboard right off to the right of the steering wheel, which I'm not a fan of that. It's just more money, harder to troubleshoot it. I like having a steel ignition key to put in the dash rather than just carrying something around your pocket or putting that little fob or whatever in your center console. If you get in an accident, that thing's gonna go flying all around the cab, and you might not be able to recover that to even get that engine started. Um, and then the next thing is another thing to add about the Honda Fits. In 2012, they decided to switch to direct injection engines. And if for any of you that don't know anything about direct injection, a traditional engine, your fuel injectors, they spray fuel into the intake manifold, and then it flows down through the intake valves into your cylinder and combusts down there. And what's great about a traditional engine is that that gas, it washes the valve stem and the valve seats of your intake valve. And the problem that they had, all the manufacturers, when they went to direct injection, and they still do, is that your fuel injector is actually located in the um, in the cylinder, in the combustion chamber, so no fuel runs across your intake valves where your air is coming in, and carbon builds up on the valve seats. And what that'll do is then your intake valve won't be able to close all the way, and you'll have lower compression. It'll cause misfires also because that carbon, it looks like lava, dried up lava is what it looks like, and it holds heat, and then it causes your air fuel mixture to ignite um, before it's ready to. So then you have a misfire because your engine cylinder is firing at the wrong time. And then the only ways to get that fixed are you can take it in the dealership, and they have they can tear apart your engine, and they can spray some walnuts down there and do that to clean up all that material off and then blow it out, which that's expensive and it still isn't perfect. The right way to do it is do a full engine tear down, pull the heads off, take the valves off, and clean them with a wire wheel. Let's see here. So what it all comes down to, out of that 2011 to 2014 body style, 2011 is the best year because it doesn't have direct injection. So you got your awesome 1.5 liter engine with um, a timing chain on it. You have a traditional automatic transmission that lasts forever. You have a traction control off button on the dashboard, so you don't need to buy snow tires to get around in the mud and snow. You're not constantly stuck. Um, and then they also have a traditional key that you stick in your column rather than that stupid push stop start button on the dash. And then I also have another thing here. Okay, so one thing I noticed that a lot of people, like the Honda Fit, if you guys ever want to buy one, like lots of times they're hard to find. You don't find them. So they're a big city car is what they are. So the best places to find them are like any of the big cities in California, and then if you live up in the northern part of the United States, Minneapolis, Minnesota is absolutely full of Honda Fits. But other than that, you won't find them any other place. So I wrote down in almost all the years you can choose between the manual or the automatic transmission, but the stick shift runs at higher RPMs on interstate. And this is another major thing that people have complained about the Honda Fits. A lot of them got the stick shift because they're really zippy around town. You know, you can shift to whatever RPM you want. But the problem with that is out on interstate, your highest gear, whether it be fifth gear or sixth gear, whichever manual transmission you got, it runs at such high RPMs that the engine is just roaring in the cab. Because like that was another reason I chose the automatic over the stick shift. Is like my 2008, I believe it's at 60 miles an hour. It only runs at like 2200 RPM, very low RPMs. Whereas if you got the stick shift in the highest gear, you're running at 28. I believe it's 2800 RPMs going down interstate. So it is loud as heck in there. And then also with me living in a colder climate, um, we I'm gonna tell you about a bad experience I had with the stick shift. Okay, so when I was in high school, I had one of those a 1986 Ford Bronco 2, and I was in second gear, and I was going out on the highway, and I was getting right upshift, and it was just this really solid snow-packed snow on the road there. It was just glazed over, and I went to go step in my clutch, and I don't remember if it was right when I stepped in clutch or when after I shifted into third, I let out my clutch, and the thing did a car did a 180 right in the middle of the highway, and thank God nobody else was coming because I would have got myself killed or somebody else killed. And that of course was a rear wheel drive. That's not front wheel drive, but still, when you're hammering through snow drifts around the city, any of that, or you come to an area where it's just glazed, the last thing you want to worry about is downshifting, pressing the clutch, whatever. Whereas you have constant power to that transmission with an automatic. So if you live in a cold climate, I honestly suggest an automatic, unless it's a CVT. Then you have no choice to get a stick shift. But um, as us as consumers, the auto companies are trying to cater to us. They're not going to sell something that we won't buy. So my outlook on it is I will never buy a Honda Fit that is newer than the 2014 models, just because I'm not willing to buy a CVT transmission because, like I said, it's not. It doesn't even go by what Honda and Toyota's um, uh, product statement is, whatever, to make their vehicles last as long as possible. Those CVTs, they don't last very long. They're not durable, and plus they're expensive to replace. So me as a consumer, why would I even want one? So I hope this helps you guys, and I will just keep picking out more repair videos, videos from Cambodia. What it all comes down to is just saving you guys money so you guys can have a better life. But I'm sure I will definitely have more Honda Fit videos because I've replaced so much stuff on my Honda Fit. When I bought it, it was totaled out, and I had to completely go through it. And I didn't go through the dealership through anything. I troubleshot it all myself. I mean, just figuring out the engineering of it and all that. And boy, that car is reliable and just amazing. It's the best car I've ever had. And someday when it rusts out, I'm gonna buy another one just like it. So, if you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll just keep kicking out these money saving videos for you guys. Take care.